Tom Brown from the Richmond Footy Club. That chase down tackle was inspirational.
Yeah, well done, Brownie.
Or should I send him a voice message live on the pod? G'day, Tom. Will Taylor from the Monday Magnets podcast here, mate. Hang on. Tom Brown's responded.
You take
No, I'm not taking the
No way.
Thanks, boys. Appreciate it. I reckon we deserve to take the
Yes! That is unreal.
That's
Welcome back to Monday Magnets. It is round 9. It's going to have a big round 9 review. What a week of football. We've had a couple of really almost underwhelming weeks of football, but we're here with some ball bursters of games to speak about. I'm here with good friends of mine, Caden McDonald.
Yes, Bailey.
Oh,
How are you,
thanks.
son?
You're
I'm
multiple humans, apparently.
Yeah, I was waiting for the Caden McDonald and Will Taylor.
Well, I was just waiting for the thank you, Baz. Yep.
Thank you, Bez.
And I'm here with a roommate of mine, Will Taylor.
Oh,
Thanks, Baz. Good to be here. As per.
we were fired up last week about the lack of good games. You know, styles make fights, and the AFL listened. They provided a ripping round, and it was just contest after contest.
So good. The Sunday was decided by all but 6 points for 3 matches. How good.
That was good. I was slightly sort of sore, a little bit tired. Sat on my couch for all 3 games, and it was gripping.
We played on the weekend.
Yeah.
It was a weird sort of situation because we played the same team that we played last week because of how the scheduling worked at the VAFA. We lost by 7 last week and we won by
20
this week.
What a response.
What a
Go down in controversial, frustrating circumstances the week before, and then for the VAFA, just like WWE, we were just waiting. Grading was done. When's the fixturing going to come out? We find out on Thursday night, you're versing Hawthorn again. And it was like, you're kidding me. But what an opportunity.
Tails, you're on the sideline. How'd that win? It would come down to you, really, on the Magnets, really. You know?
Yeah, I mean, just another great display of calmness on the bench by me. Obviously, calling the shots and making the moves on the pine. Yeah, I knew we had it in us to come away with the 4 points, especially when the umpires and the other team were clawing back and made it feel like it could go either way.
What really impressed me, with us, really late in the game, I felt like we kicked unbelievable goals to finish the game off. Like, just me.
Yeah, so I was really proud of myself for dribble kicking one from 40 metres out.
Oh, yeah, I did do one. I did,
and,
yeah.
I kicked it in front of the Hawthorn bench, and I was really proud of that. And then that was sick.
I was picturing like Cooks and Hazes, but I did kick a little contributor.
I was very impressed with your goal, Dos. What I was almost more impressed with, though, was the calmness of Tails. So collected, William.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, well...
Were you on beta blockers?
It was on, yeah, it was on something.
Nah, I was at peace with the world. I'd seen. Well, I'm sure we'll touch on it. More throughout the episode. But Baz and I made a trip up to Preston to go see our messiah, our mentor, Tommy Mitchell.
And you nearly made me late, mate.
Yeah, I nearly made him extremely late, which I was very late to the game.
You know, the day before, Tails, I said I want to get there 40 minutes early.
Yeah.
And we got there on the siren.
Yeah, so shout out to our coffee shop around the corner. I won't name the names because I really like them, but they were busy on the Saturday and then nearly made barrel late for the game. But
it was impressive almost.
Well, the coffee shop was the reason you were late.
No, they were. They absolutely were.
Yeah.
So you couldn't have got the coffee shop a little bit earlier? Or was it like...
Yeah, Tails maybe could have. Just putting that out there.
Or was it unfathomable, the delay that the coffee shop
actually
gave you?
It was so busy.
It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
Busy. Like you couldn't have anticipated how busy this day was, this certain Saturday.
So I roll around to the coffee shop because I said to Tails, mate, I got to go, and he was getting me a coffee. So I roll around before I'm heading off. I get my coffee and it's lukewarm, which is that's not Tails' fault. No. I still got it down. And then, the 40-minute drive to Preston began to see Tommy Mitchell's return in the VFL, his debut VFL game, which is unbelievable if you think about it for a 31-year-old.
Yeah.
And, don't want to draw comparisons to, I will draw comparisons to the great Muhammad Ali. While Tom Mitchell was out there, he was floating like a butterfly and was particularly stinging like a bee.
He's building our man.
Half of football down at Preston City Oval. It was strange. Obviously, he was on restricted minutes, only played the first half, but also was on the bench a lot. So it must have been a little bit more harsh than just playing a half of footy because he was on the bench for multiple times at stages of the same quarter. So, but just good to see him out there.
Yeah, just go out, little burst, come back, wrap you in cotton wool, get through the training. So
10 touches, 6 clearances, 6 tackles. You take that from the man. And if he's come out unscathed, that's all that matters.
yeah.
And
That's
it's,
awesome.
you know, I get off the field on Saturday. I'm here this morning. I haven't been this sore after a game of football in a very long time, if ever. And I've been complaining. I've been complaining over the last 48 hours about how sore I am. And it's probably, you know, you go and look at Tom Mitchell and you probably think, man, I need to grow up.
You need
a
to
little.
toughen up.
Yeah.
You need to eat a bucket of concrete and toughen up.
How good's concrete taste?
Yeah, unreal. I have the strawberry kind.
For the round review this week, I'm going to go backwards. I feel like sometimes in storytelling you to go backwards to go forwards.
Yeah.
Just cohesiveness of
As
the
Olivia
product.
Rodrigo once said, 1 step forward, 3 steps back.
Is that her quote, is it?
Yeah, well, it's her song.
Is that Muhammad Ali and Olivia
No.
Rodrigo feature?
I fucking love Olivia Rodrigo.
She's great. What a
She's
talent.
the best.
Started with an absolute ball burst. And they're all ball bursters, but Richmond, West Coast,
Come on, burst my balls.
Tigers by 2 at the G.
It's just an opportunity missed for West Coast. Like, they're not going to get too many more where, you know, late in a fourth quarter, they have chances to win. I know everyone talks about teams not winning a game for the year, and I'm not going to go that far because I've seen some horrible Melbourne sides win 2 or 3 in seasons. So West Coast will get a result at some point throughout the year, but it felt like what a prime opportunity to get it done on the weekend. Away from home as well at the G.
It's very different, and this is where North Melbourne separates themselves from the West Coast category because North Melbourne can find themselves in like really, really close games against some really high opposition, which we've seen over the last couple of weeks. Whereas West Coast games, it's almost done by half time.
Yeah.
And like they should just start like halving the price of general admission tickets just because there's probably only half a game to watch for the West Coast fans. But yeah, games like that won't come thick and fast for West Coast.
Yeah, it was a little bit disappointing, but you know, it's all learning experiences for that group. You could probably say that about the Tigers as well. But outside of the young blokes, a West Coast player that I'm really impressed with is the 33-year-old half forward, Jamie Cripps.
Yeah.
I love how that man cracks in, week out. He'll chuck a number on the board, and he looks good while doing it, Jamie.
He played with Andrew McWalter.
Did he
Yeah,
actually?
Apparently he played at the Saints with Andrew McWalter. And
That's
now
outrageous.
Yeah, now he's getting coached by him.
How
So
many, can we, Taz, you got the phone up, can we do a check? How many games did Jamie Cripps play for St Kilda?
over under, I reckon.
Over under.
I don't know how to answer an over under because it's too much maths, but I reckon he played 12. Maybe like a 20.
Barrel
I'd say like 6.
played 16.
Yeah.
Played 16 and kicked 16 goals.
Wow.
Oh, he's been doing it forever.
Well, it's been an illustrious career for the
Kicked
man.
24 from
Illustrious.
East Fremantle.
He'll have a premiership under his belt with the Flying Ryans.
He
and
does.
Oh,
You know,
nice.
it's exciting to see a really sort of name that hasn't been spoken about as much in the West Coast group. Young man by the name of Ryan Marrick is starting to make a bit more of a statement down back with 25 touches on the weekend for the Weagles with no Jeremy McGovern down there.
I'm going to be honest with you, Wilbur. I know the man. I've seen him play. I just don't watch that much West Coast footy, so I couldn't tell you.
Ryan Marrick, he's a number 1 draft pick.
From Jarrah's neck of the woods, Druin.
Is he actually?
Yeah, he's a Druin boy.
Number
He
one.
was a number 1 mid-season draft
Says a lot about his character.
from the Box Hill Hawks, and he went into a very depleted West Coast side, not getting much of the footy as a forward, and now he's been swung down back like the old Charlie Comben, Tom McCartan sort of swap over, and it's paid dividends.
Well, it hasn't, Tails, because they lost by 2.
Well, he's getting more of the footy. It's not going to it's not going to change global warming, him going down a full back, is it?
It'd be nice if it did.
Oh, for fuck's sake, mate. It's better for their career, brother. We're not here to change, like, fucking move mountains and shit, bro.
To be fair to you, Will, I think the air in Perth's pretty clear. I think they hold it. I think they hold their...
Yeah, well, it's the most isolated city in the whole wide world.
That's right. So the air quality standard's pretty high. I just don't know if Ryan Marich is a contributor to that. But
How did Blighty go?
did he play?
Are you serious?
He didn't play, man. He's been really unfortunate. He got put out of the side a couple of weeks ago. Don't know why.
What
Because
is
the
the
man was
point?
averaging a goal a game and fucking 18 touches, the guy.
As a backman.
As a back pocket pluggy. Really disappointing. When we saw him, as you'd know, the listeners would know.
Simon Grilled.
Yeah, he was with his mate Nathan, and he and I shared this.
Boy,
the
Nathan.
sentiment. Full stop. Me and Nath shared the sentiment that Jesus was stiff. He's so stiff at the moment. He should be playing, unless he's injured, which could be the case. But we don't know. But he's my favourite player.
Uze's lost the dressing room.
Clearly hasn't. They've come over with 4 points.
You messaged Tommy Gross.
I did message Tom Gross.
Did he
I said-
respond? See?
I cannot believe you've messaged Tom Gross.
So
The last thing
Yeah.
this bloke would need is DMs saying, mate,
From Macabus.
head up, you'll be right.
I think
Swing
I'm a
it back
respected
again.
player in the comp.
You what?
I'm a respected mind.
Have they seen the Sicily clip? Have they seen the Sicily utility
Mate, it's all
clip?
coming to fruition, mate.
Did he like it or reply?
He hasn't seen it, and I think it's Perth time, so it'll still be 6:30 over there. But however, we've been following each other for a while.
He'd also potentially be getting a lot of DMs. And
A lot of
some
death
not
threats.
Quite nice.
A lot of bad messages. So I just said, head up, brother. Only getting started, plenty to come.
I actually like that.
Couple of X's.
You know why? Because even if he doesn't reply, and maybe he doesn't see it, but more often than not, you do sort of glance through your messages and you might see it. And I think the more positive, the better. You're putting something positive out. So I actually sort of respect
At
it.
least he's getting positive DMs. I'd rather him get the positive DMs because he needs them.
and
Whereas,
I don't know.
He just wanted to seize the opportunity. He just saw the goals and his eyes lit up and he was, well, I was going to say he's a step or two short. It didn't even feel like he was on the wind-up yet. He thought he could roll in, old Tommy.
well, you know where and I'm no professional footballer.
Bullshit.
But where he's gone wrong is in those first couple steps. He's gone for the bounce straight.
Why did he
away.
bounce
Yeah,
the
3
ball?
steps and a bounce.
3 steps and a bounce is just like
Don't.
criminal.
But
in
I
that
get it.
situation.
It's not a reason to bounce after 3 steps. But when you see space, it's almost like it's
Get one
almost
away
second
early.
nature. Yeah. I don't know why, but it does feel like that.
Well,
at
the
times.
other thing is sometimes you bounce it to get better grip. Like sometimes you get a handball and it's not quite sitting right and you sort of like bounce it for it to come up.
yeah, that
and-
doesn't make much sense at all.
I do that.
You can readjust it in your hands, man.
Sometimes it's easier to readjust bounce.
He doesn't have to readjust it. He just has to dribble it from 40, mate.
It's true. He's done it back to a couple, 2 weeks in between, 50-metre dribblers.
I'm just a dribbler on and off, Mike.
All right, we've spent 10 minutes on the wooden spoon bowl. And there's 2 other games on the Sunday.
We
so
always
let's-
do that. We start with some random game and we just sit on it for ages.
But what
Yeah.
a game to sit on.
Yeah.
And you said we were starting with Sunday. I thought we'd start with like the last game, but we've started on
Yeah.
Sunday with the first
We've
game.
started on
on
Sunday with the
17th.
first game, and then we're going to go
We've
fucking
just done a
through
Spotify
the
shuffle.
others,
and
yeah.
my
Let's talk
head
about
hurt.
your boys' hometown, GMHBA Stadium. How good is it to see the Catters get pipped
Oh,
over
we,
there?
we, we don't like the Cats.
We don't like the Cats.
Let's
I
not
respect them more than I.
Yeah, I respect them as a team, as a club, and like the players.
We hate
understand.
those blokes.
But when it comes to supporting them, not a fan.
Giants by 4. They've pipped them 5 times in a row, I hear, at GMHBA Stadium, which is just awesome. You love to see a fortress get bombed.
Yeah, 100%. And a kingdom, a castle get attacked. Probably better
Clash of
wording.
Clans.
Probably better wording.
We've sent the troops out. We've gone into our barracks in the Clash of Clans, and we've got a bunch of archers,
Geelong-
and we're going to storm.
Geelong used to have a moat But GWS have brought the cannons.
Baz Smith is taking the P1 Dibbly, isn't he? 35 touches, 150 fantasy.
He keeps getting the 35s.
But if it's not contributing to wins, what is it, Baz?
Yeah, it's
No,
just...
he's a gun. He's actually a freak of nature.
Well, so he potted your hometown, Ballarat. And then
He sent 90 cases of Barry down to
sent
Delacombe.
a couple of slabs to Ballarat as a bit of a nod.
Where the fuck's Delacombe?
Yeah,
in
mate.
fucking
At least send
Ballarat?
it to Alfredton. You know,
Yeah.
at least send it to my mum and dad. They need a little. They've had a big weekend, mate. So I think they went pretty quickly.
At least
Delacombe-
send it to Sebastopol.
So Sebastian isn't far from Delacombe, and Delacombe is maybe, you know, depending on the traffic, maybe 10, 15 off. Jesse Hogan,
7-1.
7-1.
That's how you fucking kick him.
It'd be good if he kicked 7-11.
Well,
No, it wouldn't be.
That wouldn't be good because
If he had
he just
8
cost himself Fred Fanning's record if that was the
Well,
case.
here's one for you. Back at Richmond after 2017, the small forwards got new numbers. So Jason Castagna, Dan Butler Dan got 7, Jason got 11. So they were the 7-11 boys.
That is such a rogue niche fact
So they were the
about,
servo
They
boys.
were the Krispy Kremes.
They were the servo
They were the
boys.
original glazed.
about one forgotten footballer and one sort of battler from the Saints.
All right, mate. Oh, fuck.
Butler.
Butler.
Yo, Jesse Hogan, what a formidable forward. When he's up and going, vice-like grip with his hands. He's got a bit of a demeanour about him. When I used to watch him down at Casey, he used to sook a lot, but now he's sooking with aura. Does that make sense? Like Richo used to sook with aura. Jesse Hogan sort of complaining.
What, is
But
he sooking with licence?
sooking with license because he kicked 5 and he's like, I want 7, umpire, and that's unbelievable. Like, but when you haven't got a touch all day and you're sooking, it's a little bit embarrassing. But he's sooking with aura, and that clinic that he put on was unbelievable. Jake Riccardi's goal late. He is a mobile forward, but also he was very mobile in the ruck as well, adding another string to his bow. Great contest. The two G's going at
It's
it.
good to see him add rucking to his resume. It's really good to see. And the glove looked sexy on him.
We need more boys in the glove.
I think everyone should be able to play in a glove if you like. We'd see more marks.
How good would it be? Odell Beckham Jr.'s.
Just more clunks.
One-handed clunkies.
Yeah.
Clinker. How good's clinkers, by the
There's
way?
only so far the human body can take us. Let's start bringing in materials, metals, AI.
Let's get on to the next game, please.
Oh, we'll
There's
probably start on the Friday one now.
North Brizzy. One that Brizzy should not have even let up.
Boners, a blue ball down in Hobart. It's just,
Great game to watch with you, Tails.
what a spectacle to watch.
The Lions do this every now and again.
You
don't
feel for the shinnies, the shin boners.
Is it? Do
Oh,
you
you
reckon?
do.
Do you reckon the Lions? You know, have they got any outs? Did anyone not play on the weekend?
Not massive.
I think mentally they sort of checked out going to
Yeah.
Hobart on a 4:40 Twilight Clash game.
And then did they get the plane? No, that was the doggies. The Sons and doggies had the plane with each other from Darwin. Out from
Yeah.
Darwin or something like that.
But Brisbane checking out a little bit. I mean, Kyle Lohman, 0-2. Logan Morris, 0-1.
But
Charlie Cameron, 1-2.
speak about another Charlie that was an absolute monster
Oh,
in the
big
back in the last
Chumbawamba.
5 minutes. The comb is what I'm calling him now.
Big Chumbawamba.
The honeycomb.
Your
He
man.
stands tall.
He was that good.
He's in the phone case for a reason, and he's there because he just presents. He's got more presence than fucking Santa, boys.
Felt like a coming of age almost for the man. Like maybe
Nah,
I'm wrong.
he's got so many games like that. He just pops up and has like 12 intercept marks like
He's,
that every now and then.
He's very brave. Like he throws his body at everything, and
Just stood under 3 in the last 2 minutes of that game. 3
I just
minutes
feel like
of
he's
that
always
game.
getting hurt. He just throws his body at it.
He throws his body at fucking everything. He broke his nose last week and still played. He broke his nose in the not last week when they played Port Adelaide. He broke his nose then after breaking in at training. And yeah, he's been through some injuries over the last couple of years, but he just gives it all for the shinnies, and he's just a throbbing shin bone at
Wow.
the back.
I felt like, you don't want to look back with if, buts, or maybes, but I felt like that last play, I think it was Comben who flicked it across the ground.
Comben.
Comben.
Charlie.
Barris. I felt like when he flicked it across the ground and they were just absolutely out. They had to score from that. And they went with this shallow entry, and it was to Harris Andrews, and Larky did well to halve the contest, but it shouldn't have been kicked there. It should have been kicked top of the goal score. They actually could have taken grass and just scored.
They had two blokes just running free on the wing. One of them could have put a shepherd on. The other one could have run into an open goal. But like you say, so many if, buts, or maybes. And
they almost don't know how to close those games yet, the Roos.
It's coming.
It is.
It's coming.
Back half of the year, the Roos will win 5 games.
The wee man will change it around at the club.
This game also has our magnet of the week, 39 touches at 85% efficiency. Mr. Dane Zorko, who we know can collect the football.
I thought you were going to say at 85 years old.
Well,
yeah, Zane Dorko is about fucking 85, so good on him.
Could have gone either way.
He's ticking him over.
I'd like to know how many kickouts. That's what I'd like to know. But either way, 85% efficiency is great.
Is he someone who's gotten the most out of his abilities in a career? Like sort of
Or has
small
he-
little battler. He was on the Gold Coast list, went to Brisbane, just kept foraging away.
Or has he just bought himself that many tickets at the Lions that they will just keep him in there?
But he plays such a specific role for them now, and he plays it really well.
26 uncontested.
Yeah, but that's his role. He's like almost, and I know this phrase gets brought up a lot in the AFL, but he's almost the quarterback for the Brisbane
You're
Lions.
right.
He oversees the ground. He dictates where we shift the football.
Yeah, and I can't.
Let's stop Americanising our game. Fuck the quarterback off.
I disagree.
He's almost like the point guard. When he's got the ball in their hands, they all play around him.
Moving on to the Saturday. Now, we had footy. We played footy we actually had a 4:45 game, which kind of got in the way of our viewing experience of football for the week.
Hey, Vaffa, we're football operators. When you put us on the 4:45 games, we can't really do our job. It's a bit fucked.
And we want to promote the game.
We're game promoters. We're the people that shoot out the text for like Mango Thursdays and like Lucky Thursdays. It's Mango Fridays.
Hanging
Lucky
out
Thursdays.
flyers.
Yeah, come in and get a free wet pussy shot on us. And
Oh my God.
we're game promoters.
We are game promoters, and you're really cutting into our promotional skills. We're trying to be Eddie Hearn, and you're trying to be, I don't know,
But
some
also-
government body.
Yeah.
But
our
also,
way.
Vaffa, we're game promoters. So 9:20 games, I'm too tired to watch and promote throughout the game on Saturday. So if we could just a little midday session,
Yeah.
because we're
11:40.
promoters.
11:40 is
Yeah,
nice.
11:40 for the promoters.
Although if it was 11:40 this week, Dos, you wouldn't have been able to watch any of the Melbourne Hawks game, which you did get to watch 3/4 of. And, geez, the D's were poor.
They were good. They were good for 3
What?
quarters. They were fantastic.
Yeah, sure, mate.
It was 3rd versus 15th. We should have been 4 goals up at 3/4 time, and I started driving to the ground at 3/4 time. I think we were up in the last quarter, and then by the time I got to Wattle Park, I checked my AFL app and we're down by 35 points. And I went, what has gone on here? And I actually couldn't tell you because I was driving, but Roaming Has rolls in 15 minutes later. Hey, the Hawkers, mate, we took the piss. We're going to win the flag. He was very up and about. Gunston was unbelievable. And I don't know, it felt like we could stifle the Hawks' formidable attack for 3/4, but you give them a 10-minute patch and they'll put you away, and that's what they did.
Gunston just like a big wheel of cheese. Just gets better the longer you let it age a little bit.
I feel like a fine wine, like when I hear that sentence, I can appreciate it, but like a big sort of soggy, mouldy wheel of cheese that
No,
just gets
but
better.
I never said soggy wheel of cheese, McDonald. It's just like a vintage aged cheddar.
yeah.
Like everyone
Like
wants
a Lunchable.
everyone wants a piece. Everyone will have some on their crackers. Not everyone can have a glass of wine.
Gunston on your crackers.
And sometimes
Save it for
when you
later.
eat it, you shit profusely.
Yeah.
If
If you're lactose intolerant, it'll come out the other end, but you still want that cheddar.
Look, I think I'm sort of half with your analogy, and I think you are correct. Getting better with age. I thought a couple of years ago when he left the Hawks, went to Brisbane, was in and out of that side, it felt like his career was almost over.
Yeah.
And then he came back to Hawthorn, and now he's just playing really well. So,
You know what the turning point was? Was when he dropped himself from the Brisbane side
He
to go
looked at
play
himself in the
twos.
mirror, didn't he?
Yeah.
He looked at himself in the mirror and he said, "Where's the cheddar?"
Yeah.
And then he found
Where's
it
the cheddar? Here's the cheddar.
on the cheese.
And
bro.
it's still aging.
I hold the toasty together. And he figured that out and put it together. Speak about one of your men. We've met him a few times. You filmed a video with him, Harvey Langford. Was that his best game so far?
yeah, by far.
What a game.
I think like 20 and 3.
22.
From the wing. Yeah, he's just a freak. He's
He's been watching McCabe.
He has been, yeah. He keeps his width. I don't know. Like, we're pretty lucky at the D's. We don't really nail trades all that often, or we don't have the luxury of bringing blokes in through free agency. We don't really have anything to sell from a footy club perspective. Like Geelong have the farms and Collingwood have the crowds, and we're just one of 10 Victorian clubs that don't really have a point of difference. So from a trade and free agency perspective, we don't normally nail. But from a draft perspective, we rarely miss. And picking a big-bodied mid that's really classy on the outside, he's just he looks like he's played 200 games. And so does Xavier Lindsay. He looks like he's so experienced, so composed. And then, big half to get on the scoreboard was really good.
Speaking of Zave Lindsay, he rolled into the pop-up shop that Tails and I went to on the weekend.
Did you meet Xavier Lindsay?
Xavier
No,
Lindsay-
we didn't. But we met him before. But no.
We let him go and do his thing and do his shopping. But myself and Barrow went down to the Fresh Flames pop-up store in the CBD in Melbourne. Shout out my boy Christian. He hooked us up massively. But I think Xavier Lindsay played a great game because he was just so cool, calm and collected on the Friday, in the zone, buying a few nice little garments. I'm wearing a garment from Fresh Flames right now. So,
As am I.
Yeah, as is Basil.
Reebok piece that I actually haven't taken it off since Friday.
He loves it.
Speaking of merchandising,
What have you got there, Barrel?
this, you might have seen it on the pods recently, but this is the Ball Magnets new range. You've got a couple of different pieces coming in a similar style. May 21. To get your hands on this stuff, there's a couple of tees also, brown version.
Brown,
Very clean.
white, blue tees, brown hoodie,
Get your hands
blue
on
hoodie.
it. We're selling it.
They're just
They're
so,
selling.
so comfortable. I love those hoodies. I've
Great.
been wearing my brown one everywhere.
It's a great piece. Get your hands on it, May 21. Last thing on the D's game, Clayton Oliver was disappointing. He had 20 centre bounce attendances for only the 13 disposals. Did you see much of Clary?
He tagged John Newcombe.
Really?
Yeah, apparently he tagged John Newcombe.
Why?
Don't know. Apparently wanted a role where he could go in and focus. How'd John Newcombe go?
Young Bull, as they call him down at
The Poo Wang.
To
Yeah.
be fair,
The-
19.
Yeah, so
the
he had a
Prince
role.
of the Prince of Pooong.
Yeah, he had a role on John Newcombe, which I don't know. Clary, excuse me.
All good, mate. You're right.
Yeah, he's been averaging high touches, but hasn't quite been impacting the same that he normally does. So I don't know. I think to keep him engaged, give him a specific role, he did a pretty good job on John Newcombe, and that's what I've always loved about Clary. Like at times he'll be a little bit selfless in a team that has a lot of midfielders that can play a similar role as him. And it adds like another defensive string to his bow. But yeah, he played a role and got it done. Obviously, we didn't get the win though.
You know what's really scary? John Newcombe is still 23 years old. Like, seriously scary. And
How does he not get drafted?
Yeah, stupid.
Yeah.
Silly. We went up to his hotel room once at Crown.
We did.
And
Are you fucking stalkers? What are you-
no,
what are you
no,
doing
no,
up
we
there?
were invited.
Sniffing his jocks?
we were invited.
He was young then. That was his first year.
First or second year, yeah. Well, must have been second year, yeah.
Wow, so you went up to a 19-year-old's room to sniff his jocks. That's...
He wanted us to sniff him. What can we
All right,
say?
McDonald, jeez.
We sometimes do this, and I don't mind it, but we'll talk about the loser of a team more than the winner. Are the Hawks just bubbling away quite nicely?
No, I think they've been poor.
They have been, actually.
Sicily struggled a bit. Who's the best player of all time, as we know. and they haven't had their midfield crop together. I
no
said
Will
this
Day
to a mate of
hurts.
mine the other day. I think Will Day is a 3-4 goal difference. Genuinely
Yeah,
a
he
3-4
would
goal
be.
difference. But also, I think they might have had a couple of mids out at different times.
Well, as a club, if you're still winning games and you're not playing your best footy,
Yeah.
yeah,
still going all right.
True.
Absolutely.
No Connor Nash.
Well, when we also saw Xavier Lindsay, we also saw Josh Weddle, and I've got an inside scoop. I asked him, "How are you boys travelling?" He said, "Yeah, we're good." So clip that up, guys.
Hungry and humble.
great insight. He's
Clip
a
that
great
up.
man.
Footy on 9.
Yeah, that's the real stuff. This one I'm a little bit concerned about because I feel like none of us were able to watch the Essendon Swans game.
Can I just touch on one
Good
thing
one to miss.
for this game? Now they brought in two debutants, Archie Day Wicks and Lewis Hayes. Poor old Lewis Hayes has gone down with an ACL injury and he's out for the rest of the season. And it's now happened where round 5 they lost Nick Bryan, round 6 they lose Sam Draper, round 8 they lose Jordan Ridley and Harry Jones, and now they've lost Lewis Hayes to injury. And they've still beat the Swans.
ACL in your debut is crook.
Oh, that is so.
The footy
stiff.
gods are taking the P155 there. That's actually ridiculous.
Is that? Do you come away from that and say this isn't my game? Not my game.
No way. You still keep kicking on.
I don't know. I feel for young Wixie, was it?
Archer Week's days,
Yeah.
but it was Lewis Hayes that did his ACL.
I feel for young Hazy.
I don't think there's much we can speak about that game because I genuinely didn't watch and I don't think either of you guys would have.
Well,
been
the
able to
Swans are done.
Swans are fucked.
Put a line.
Swans are fucked.
Put a line through the Swans.
They actually
What do we
They
do? What do we
actually
do with
are.
Sydney?
Yeah.
No, they're actually cool.
They've got Carlton at the SCG this coming week, and that'll be a real
But
test.
then they
of where
randomly
they are.
beat the Giants. Like they're just such a flirty little side.
They could go and beat Carlton at home this week.
Everyone's beating everyone.
Yeah.
It's great,
It is good.
except for the D's.
Except West Coast.
Yeah, except for the D's and the Coasters. The Saints are above the Swans,
Yeah.
which is awesome.
Not a
Awesome
good
to
look.
see.
Not a good look for the Swannies.
Moving on, we did get to watch a little bit of the last 2 games on Saturday once we got back. You guys went to the pub to celebrate our great Wattle Park win. Tails and I stuck around. We went for dinner, got a big Palmer, and after that we were out of action for at least an hour. We needed to sit down and just recoup, which is a great word that McDonald's put me onto. But we did sit down and watch the last sort of half. Tails, the doggies, they go down by 10 in Darwin. Is that a result of the consistent travel and football on probably some average decks?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, playing in five different grounds in 5 weeks doesn't help.
Yeah, how do you go from the climate of Ballarat to Darwin?
Yeah,
True.
There is no middle ground whatsoever at all. But the boys still gave it an absolute red hot crack because, my God, it's hard to beat Gold Coast in Darwin, especially when there's some boy. Well, for starters, all those boys are very acclimatised to hot weather already.
Yeah.
Like living on Cavill Ave and going to Ripley's and
Go on a Top Golf or whatever.
going
it
to
is.
Top Golf and getting on all the roller coasters. But like
Spending
the
$500
boys,
at Top Golf.
the boys still cracked in and my boy Tommy Liberatore.
Oh my God.
He was just putting his head over it and running into brick walls and just doing it for the team. But I mean, it was unfortunate.
There's no shame losing to Gold Coast anywhere, let alone up in Darwin. They've turned that ground
No
into
way.
a fortress. It's like sort of GWS at GMHBA when the Suns play up at Darwin. And I think a sign of a good side is never being out of a contest. So for the Dogs to go up there at an absolute fortress that Darwin is for the Suns and be competitive, they're starting to, I don't know, just sort of strengthen their aura, the Dogs.
One eye open for the doggies. Matty Kennedy is hitting the scoreboard this year like crazy. Another 3 snags for him.
What can I say? I just sing his praise every week. Matt Kennedy, just the biggest steal in the off season, and thanks to Carlton for giving him to us. But
Rozee labelled him the nuke like 3 years ago, and I think, and he's the only one that calls him this, but he called him the nuke because he's the nuclear bomb, because he's not just a gun, or he's not just like he's like a full artillery. Like, he's got so many weapons, the nuke. He's got, because he can kick goals, he can win the contested footy, he's good overhead mark, he's such a strong lad. So shout out to Rog, but the nuke, he's on fire. Unfortunately, not for the Blues. It's for the Dogs now.
The Dogs, they feel like they're coming. 100%. Pause. Port Adelaide.
The Bulldogs are always coming.
The showdown on Saturday evening.
Showdown 57. One for the ages.
It
guys.
is always awesome. It is a spectacle.
They must do that on purpose. They must do it like the EJ Witten game where they make the results close, because every year it's just within a kick. No matter where they are on the ladder, like one of them might be rebuilding, one of them's a top 4 team, and it just comes down to the wire.
It's one of the best games on the calendar.
It's one of the biggest rivalries in. It's probably the biggest rivalry in AFL.
I'd say Carlton Collingwood.
Collingwood. Do you remember that one?
Is there a cup? Is there a cup for it?
It's something deeper.
Do they do
It's
the
something
Pratt Cup
deeper
or
than a
something?
cup. It's something deeper. It's respect.
But regardless, it's like top 2-3 rivalry.
Yeah.
It's a
like
great
it is.
rivalry.
It's a genuine.
It's
better than the Derby.
It's a two-team town. You know, they hate each other. Port fans hate the Crows. Crows fans hate the Port. And you always get a good game.
The three-headed dragon once again showing up. 6 between them, and Tex had 0-2. So technically, it was just the
So the three-headed dragon didn't show up.
and the Thilthorpe. But it's about what Tex does outside of the goals he kicks. He'll take one. He'll take one out. He'll lead hard like Tails, and he'll just bring a defender out and then open it up for Fog. And they kick 6 between them. And
I know it probably matters a little bit less in showdowns than it does grand finals or whatnot, but Connor Rozee winning the BOG in a losing team, is that
Bit weird.
we had 32.
anyone from Adelaide sort of coulda, woulda, shoulda pinched it?
Yeah.
Riley O'Brien had 17 and 40 hit-outs. Peatling, 24 touches, 12 tackles.
Connor's by a mile.
Obviously, a couple
Yeah.
of three-goal
Rankin bobbed
performances.
up. He was pretty clutch late, I think.
Rankin, 2 goals, 16.
We're at the pub and he was just slotting them.
However, Rozee kicked 1-1 and had 32 and 5 tackles.
Put on
and
a clinic.
Probably had
There's
48
levels to the game.
clearances and whatever else. But, geez, yeah, Port Adelaide aren't going as well as that result shows.
Yeah.
Because the Crom look awesome, I think. 5th on the ladder at the moment, equal 4th with the Suns, and they're kind of coming nicely, I think.
Crows.
Yeah,
Crows are real. We said early on the Crows were real.
yeah. And potentially we were right.
Well, they're real. They're very real. They're very fit. And yeah, I don't know. Another
I
good result.
just love their backline, their young backline.
What about the Irishman taking a clutch mark late?
Keeney,
Yeah.
yeah, good mate. I love that.
That was
Love that.
unbelievable.
That's called balls of steel.
What's-
Going back with the
Finn
fly.
Layson was almost going to nail him and he just went back.
Finlayson
And
nearly clocked his head right off
Yeah.
his shoulders. That was very brave. Very Will Taylor-esque.
On the Friday night, it was a big game. It's always a big game on the calendar for the Sainers. It was Spuds game down at the G. One of the Saints' only fixtures at the G every year. And, geez, my Saints got pipped and it was ugly and it was gross. But there was a greater cause down there. We actually went down early that morning.
We did a captain's run. Yeah,
we did our
one.
own captain's run, didn't we? And that's maybe why the legs feel a little bit tighter than usual today. But we went down. You had the 1 to 2 a.m. laps around the G.
yeah, so for Spuds game, the St Kilda Footy Club do an event, or they do a
It was the first time they did this.
they do like an activation before every Spuds game. So the first year it was the celebrity charity match. The second year I can't remember what they did, but then the third year they did a bike ride, 24 hours around the MCG on tandem bikes, and they got people in and around the footy industry to come down and hop on the bikes. And we got the call up. All of us got the call up. I got the 1 a.m. shift, me and Cookson. The Mar boys were at 2 a.m. You were at 3 with Jarrah, and then you copped the 4 with Sedge.
Yeah, Sedgy Talk and I at 4 till 5. That was tough.
I was a bit nervous about the tandem bike because, I don't know, like we didn't get any practice. We didn't get any tutorials. It's just sort of hop on and pedal.
Can't be
Yeah.
that difficult.
I felt like it was difficult for the first lap. Like, even after one lap, me and Cookson were like swaying and shaking, and like, it felt like after that first lap, it was 1:05 a.m. We're the only people at the MCG. We're doing laps, and I thought, there's no chance we're going to be able to do this for an hour. Like, that first lap was so rickety. But the more momentum you get, the more you get used to the bumps and the humps at the MCG. There's a couple of intoxicated Offspring fans giving me and Cookson some heckling.
Really?
Yeah, they were coming.
I guess because you were a bit earlier, maybe you had more of a chance to see some people running.
And also, they
around.
saw two guys on a tandem bike at 1:30 a.m. at the MCG, and they just went, "What is going on here?" So, but such a ripping cause. The Saints do it so well, raising money for mental health, and the Danny Frawley Centre. It was just like, as quirky as hopping on a tandem bike at 1 a.m. at the MCG was, it was actually really fun, and they do it really well, the Saints.
I had a lot of fun.
No, it was great. Thanks to all the people down at the Saints that put that on, because there's just little things that we get to be involved in that are awesome like that. And
Even if it is the 1 a.m. shift, we're happy to be there.
happy to be there at 3.
Shout out to Serene Watson for keeping the vibes high.
Oh,
And
the vibes were really high from
And
Serene.
shout out to Stuff That Matters for coming down and spraying me with deodorant and getting around me at 4 a.m. So, good people.
And you had no idea they were coming down.
I had no clue they were coming down.
So cool.
They came down with a Go Will poster.
Tails.
So, that's me.
Tails was doing laps. Myself and Cookson had finished. The Marn boys had finished. And there was cold pizza in the green room. And Checkers goes to Cook, you know, it'd be funny if you shove pizza in Tails' mouth as he does laps.
Yeah.
So every time Sedge and Tails would do a lap of the G, Cook would stand on the finish line and try and shove this pointy piece of pizza in Tails' mouth. And the first couple of times we got the shot, but it didn't quite work out. Like, I think Tails grabbed one piece initially. And then like the third or fourth time they went round, Cook kept trying to get this perfect shot of the pizza going in. And Tails just goes, "Cook, I don't want any pizza." And he's like singing fast on the tandem.
I was already juiced up with electrolytes and protein and
Stuff that matters.
plenty of fluids. And yeah, I was smelling good, so I didn't need pizza.
No, well, we love it. And speaking of loving things, we've got a new segment brought to you by AIA Vitality of just the things we loved this round. And we've all got something that we want to bring to the table that we loved from the week of footy. So, Tails, I'm going to start with you, brother. What did you love from AIA Vitality?
Well, my AIA shout out of the week is obviously to our mentor, our master, our grasshopper. Well, where is grasshoppers actually?
Yoda.
Tommy Mitchell.
Yeah.
Tommy Mitchell.
Yeah, Tommy.
Getting back on the park.
Tommy's in your pocket, waiting for lunch.
He wasn't in the pocket, but he was in the guts. But 380 days of no football. Great to see him back out on the park for Collingwood.
Won't be far till he's back on this pod.
Not far away at all.
And, you know, don't know what the future holds for that Collingwood lineup, but, geez, it'd be awesome to see him back on the AFL field soon.
Absolutely.
Dossie, what is your love of the week?
My
what are we
shout
calling
out.
it?
Shout
Shout
out,
out of the
brother.
week. Shout out of the
My
week.
AIA, healthier, longer, better lives. Shout out of the week is to Tom Brown. Not the
Yeah.
journo. No, not the
No.
journo. Tom Brown from the Richmond Footy Club. That chase down tackle was inspirational.
Yeah, well done, Brownie.
The closing speed, he came like a little panther out of nowhere, maybe like a tiger. I don't even know if they're quick, but he just hummed the young fella down, and it was inspiring, game-saving, and he's becoming quite the player, Tommy Brown.
Man, we've mentioned him a few times.
Lethal shoe, lethal
Yeah,
shoe.
can collect.
Yeah.
Can really collect. So, good to see Brownie getting some points on the board.
I might send Tom Brown a message.
Send him a DM.
Send him a DM and just
Head up, brother.
get around him. Or should I send him a voice message live on the pod?
Yeah.
Can I be in it? Can I please be in it, please?
Yeah, of course you can. Let's see if he responds to this one.
Let him know that we gave him a shout out.
Yeah.
Do we tell him that
He's
he
the AI.
messaged Bailey? He messaged Tom.
We'll leave that part out.
Yeah.
Feel free to. I don't care.
G'day, Tom. It's Will Taylor from the Monday Magnets podcast here, mate. Just wanted to give you a big wrap from the weekend and let you know that you are our AIA Shoutout of the week, mate. Your chase down tackle was sensational. I'm sure you are the king of punt road today. Rehab will feel very good today. Recovery in the ice bath or in the sauna, however you want to cool off after your big win against the Weagles yesterday, mate. But just wanted to give you a big wrap. Obviously, you brought it home for the boys, so just a big wrap from us down at the Monday Magnets. All the best for the rest of the season, big fella.
Hi, Tom. Kados here. Inspirational. You came from nowhere. You won the game. You saved the game. And, yeah, you're an absolute star. So, great tackle, great performance, and go the Tigs.
Just the next coffee's on me at Cheeky Monkey Brownie, so just let me know when you're next down there and I'll cop that one for you. I'll just tap the card, mate. Well done.
Love you, Tommy. Love your work, mate. Go the Tiggies.
Well done, Brownie.
Should AIA shout out of the week be a voice message to a player?
Absolutely. That's a great call. We should, yeah, I like it. And then that really deciphers the good from the bad blokes.
Do we then send a voice message to Titch, or do we just let him be?
Nah, Tommy will get a phone call.
He'll get a phone call. We'll get a text.
My shout out of the week is to all the mums out there.
Yes.
To Brownie's mum, to Doss's mum, to Will's mum.
Tom Gross's mum.
Yeah,
Tommy
Tom
Gross's
mum.
mum's probably a lovely lady. Cookson's mum, Sue. Is it Sue?
It's Sue.
Sue Cookson, Aiden's mum. I'm sure she's a lovely woman. Shout out to all the mothers out there. I gave my mum a big cuddle on Sunday. So
I gave your mum a cuddle on Saturday.
that's weird.
Well, she's at the game.
Yeah.
No, that's weird.
Watched
bro.
a game of
Yeah.
footy.
I don't.
I love giving Lisa a cuddle. She's
Okay.
She was at our game. I said,
Yeah,
g'day.
fuck.
I
Sake, mate.
don't cuddle my mum.
I shook your dad's hand.
Yeah.
That's all right. You can shake my mum's hand next time too.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I thought we were closer than that.
No way.
No, whatever you're comfortable with, just keep your hands up here. You know. Shout out to all the Mother's Day. It's a great initiative for Mother's Day, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a great initiative. Started by the St Kilda Footy Club, probably. It's been going for 3 years.
You know, and we'll donate. We'll donate to the cause. We're actually doing a 24-hour run walk / because it's just.
There's a
how
few
you
Mother
feel.
Day runs.
Yeah.
I didn't want to participate.
Run club, Mother's Day run club.
Yeah.
Salt, I think. Anyway, it's a great cause.
Something like that.
It's a great cause.
Should we get
Mother's
onto the Pies game? I feel like we've got a big Pies contingent that
Yeah,
love this
well-
pod, given the Tommy connection. But
we don't have
we've
ages.
we sort of teased them.
We don't have ages left in the pod. However, let's finish on this game. We do have a couple of minutes here to go, so let's just dribble our fingers over the game. What did you think, Dos? What did you think from the Thursday?
Oh man, it happened a month ago, so I can't even remember. But well, this felt like the game where the Fremantle Footy Club were gonna put up or shut up, to be honest, because the Pies, they were without Pendles, Myercheck, DeGoey.
Yeah,
There's another one.
a couple of the
There
boys.
was a fourth.
No Mitchell.
There was a fourth. Pendles, DeGoey, Myercheck.
Obviously,
There's a fourth.
Well, Schultz went out in
There's a fourth guy.
horrible scenes.
There's a fourth that was out.
Okay, mate. You've said that-
Anyway, so they went out to the West without stars, 5-day break. They had injuries in game as well.
Lockie Schultz was disgusting. That was
And
hard to watch.
Freo, I don't know. If you're going to be a top 8 side, like top 4's off the table now. Like they were predicted to be a top 2, a premiership contender.
Not by me.
Top 4 is now off the table, and you just got to bank that. I know Collingwood are one of the best teams in the comp, but it's not who you play, it's when you play them. And off a 5-day break with 4 stars out and injuries mid-game, you got to get that result, and they just couldn't. So that was disappointing.
And Nick and Josh Dacos were held to, like when you actually think about it, both of them combined were held to under 40 touches, which is huge because each of them can do that on their own. And then obviously Sidebottom was subbed out tactically, apparently. He only had the 7 touches, and then Lockie Schultz was knocked out, and that was pretty gross, to be completely honest. That was really tough to look at.
I can't believe Freo Dockers kept both Dacoses to under 20 touches and still lost the game.
Yeah.
That bamboozles me.
Incredible. It was the Jamie Elliott show. Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
6-piece?
6-piece chicken wingdings.
God, he looks good in front of goals.
Just so good. And they're not easy snags either. He's kicking them from 45 on the angle.
What I liked was Crispy after missing, potentially one of the great moments of AFL history. He bounced back, kicked a couple. He's always consistent with his disposals, but kicked 2 in the game following. That was a nice little response. And then a little shout out to Andy Brayshaw. He's doing it every week, Andy. All-Australian lock, almost?
Yeah, well, potentially the takeaway for me is that I think it wasn't the midfield. I just spat. Sorry, guys. Put that in slow-mo.
It's all right, man.
It wasn't the mid-battle that lost Freo the game. It was the outside of that because Brayshaw 34, Clark 33, Bolton 28 and a goal, Sarong 25. It wasn't their fault. I think it was externally from that.
At one stage, Sean Darcy went down, if not off, and I actually thought Freo looked better when he was off. Is that too harsh?
No, that's great.
Is that a bit stiff on the Monday Magnets?
No.
Well, that's your call.
I thought when Luke Jackson was at every contest, they looked a little bit more dangerous. So I don't want to be that guy that just stirs up the old Darcy and Jackson combo mix, but I feel like the last couple of weeks it just doesn't look like a point of difference for them. Maybe it's not a negative for them, but it doesn't look like the point of difference I think they think it is. So when Sean Darcy went down, looked like Jacko got into the game more.
I just haven't bought stocks in Fremantle yet. So
Yeah, well.
I don't think anyone should. And
I'm tempted to sell my stocks because I was massive on them earlier.
yeah.
I'll put them for the flag,
Yeah.
which is awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome to look back on.
Well, plenty of games to go. Actually, no, it's not. It's round 10 already. The
Yeah.
season's over.
I'm just keen for the kids' edits to come out and, really rinse me,
Yeah.
which will happen. Similar to the James Sicily sort of arguments.
Hang on. Tom Brown's responded.
You actually you take.
No, I'm not taking the.
No way. While recording, we've got
While
the
we are
response.
still recording, Tom Brown from the Richmond Tigers has responded.
This is huge scenery. This is huge for the shout out of the week and what is to come.
We are getting encouraged to bother AFL footballers, and it's justified. I normally bother them just in my own spare time, but this is actually it's a segment. It's content.
It is content.
I'm excited.
So
Hold this up to the mic.
As it reads from Tom Brown, he didn't send a voice message back.
And fair enough.
But he goes, "Thanks, boys. Appreciate it. Ha 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 ha. I reckon we deserve to take the budgies off in the spas for recovery today."
Yes. That is unreal.
That's funny.
That is unreal, Tommy B.
Tommy B, what a man. Once again, shout out Tom Brown. He is now friend of the pod. Friend of the pod. Add him to the list.
Add him
That's
on.
beautiful. Brown, he's got his budgies off. Budgies off. Budgies off.
The
Brown, he's got
Tigers
his
are in
budgies
the
off.
spa.
Because the Tigers got 4 points.
And as always, guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. This podcast has been brought to you by AIA. And enjoy the rest of your day.
Great work, Cook. Sick.